Welcome, everybody, back to the Rope Break. It's been a hot second, but we are back.
Yep, and before we start, I know me and Jeff both personally were a little affected by this, at least from our childhood memories, but we want to give our condolences to Sean O'Haire's family. He recently passed away. I'm not quite sure what exactly it was, but the rumor is suicide, so very sad to hear. Very talented guy. I think he was wasted in WWE. I think we can both agree with that one. But WCW, he was definitely one of my favorites and one of those guys that I thought he could really be a world champion in WCW back in the day. I thought.
The thing with him, and it was when I saw it, I first said to myself, just please don't be suicide. Just please, please, please don't be suicide. And then the next day we got reports that it looked like that. Now, we don't know for sure. We're not going to confirm that or anything. That's not what we do. But if it is suicide, it's a hard pill for anyone to swallow. So I mean, I know we not wrestling related, but with like Robin Williams and his suicide that affected a lot of people too. And suicide's a horrible. It's just a horrible thing to think of, that someone can't get out of what's affecting them so much to do that to yourself. But as for Sean O'Haire, he was a great, phenomenal wrestler. He had the look.
Yeah, for his size, he was a big dude. He was like 6'6".
Yeah, he had the look. He had the personality. In WCW, we were both a fan of his work, and then in WWE, when he had that gimmick of saying at the end, but I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I thought that was an absolutely brilliant kind of gimmick, and he really sold that gimmick well. And I know a lot of people, a lot of actual former wrestlers have come out and said that he was a very stand-up guy, a really good dude. They were actually jealous of the fact that he played the part completely for a professional wrestler, and he really, with the backing, he really could have done some damage in the business, more so than he did, and he really did kind of get wasted in WWE. But yeah, our condolences definitely go out to his family, to friends, to fans. It was definitely a big loss for the professional wrestling community, because he really was a good guy, and he really was a good wrestler that I know me and you both kind of really enjoyed over the years.
Yeah, especially wrestling always has at times that group of just young guys, five or six guys, and there's always that one guy in the group that you think okay, that's gonna be the main guy, the superstar. And for me, I thought it was always gonna be him. He was a tag team with Jindrak in the beginning, Mark Jindrak. They were very talented, had a tag team title run, and then I think they switched it up and put him and Palumbo together. Chuck Palumbo, and they were really good. Him and Palumbo were very good. Palumbo has always been a very good tag team wrestler, so those two fit really well. They had tag title runs. You had Mike Sanders, who is one of my favorites, just an absolute great mouthpiece of the group. He was always very talented. He always entertained me. So it was
Sean O'Haire. Sean the Star Stasiak, too.
Oh, yeah. And Sean O'Haire, he was always the guy I thought that could have been a future world champion. I don't think he had the charisma to do it. I mean, he had a little bit of it. Maybe he just wasn't given his chance. I don't know. But especially in WCW, those guys really weren't given a chance to really speak too much. That's just the downfall of WCW. But, yeah, very sad to hear about his passing.
Yes.
So... Oh, all right, Jeff. Monday Night Raw, the last couple weeks. Really not a whole lot has been going on that's really noteworthy. Just building up some basic feuds for the Night of Champions pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. The main event is going to be, once again, John Cena and Brock Lesnar. They've been teasing it. They teased it last week that Cena wanted to fight Lesnar, and he said he was going to fight. He either going to fight Lesnar on this week's or yesterday's Raw, or he was going to fight Heyman. So they did a whole little, speech in the ring, and finally Lesnar came down after Cena was going to beat up Heyman. Teasing back and forth that he wasn't going to get in the ring, and then they finally did and started brawling. Brock immediately picked him up and did a German suplex on him, and Cena rolled out of the ring and he was down. But then Cena came back and fought, and they just brawled around until security came in and broke it up. So, I think they could have done better doing this. I think it hinders them that Brock isn't there all the time. He's not there every week, so it's really hard to build that kind of stuff up. I think that's one of the biggest challenges of having Brock as champion, too, is because of that. But Cena had a really good promo, I think it was 2 Mondays ago against Heyman, about, how Heyman was telling him how he needs to turn on these people that boo him and stuff. And John was saying, the only thing I know how to do is eat, sleep, be John Cena. But go ahead.
I was just going to say quickly, I have not been glued to the set the last couple of weeks with Raw. I've watched little things here and there. I think even 2 weeks ago, it was like on for like background noise with me. My problem is what they did at SummerSlam with Cena and Brock, and the praise I gave them. I take it all back, because they have done the exact opposite of what they should have done with this whole Cena and Brock thing. And now to me, it sours that night, and it doesn't make that night very original and cool to me. It just makes that night lame and a horrible match now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's obvious to me what this match is going to be. It's going to be basically Brock kicking his ass for the first half and then Cena battling back.
Yes.
That's the only way I think it can really do it. So, I
just don't see how you can now explain having the match they had at SummerSlam, and then you're going to have like an actual back and forth kind of contest, I feel, coming up.
Yeah. So who knows? WWE creative is not the brightest thing going today.
Do you think this is the worst creative has ever been? Like, is this worse than like after WCW was purchased for like a year or so, and they had no competition whatsoever, and they could do whatever the heck they want? Is this the worst?
It was bad back then, but they had more talent back then. You had Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle and stuff.
Oh, you can't say Chris Benoit. That's a bad word.
I don't care. And, nowadays, I was reading an article on Bleacher Report, and they said, really right now, WWE's 2 big stars are Cena and Brock. After that, you have a bunch of, they could be stars, or guys that are just very solid, like Orton and stuff. I don't know. It's interesting to...
I just feel it's just so lazy now. Like, it's just...
It really is. Like,
there's not...
last week they had Jericho get attacked in the back by Orton, and it really seemed for no reason. And I don't know. It just seems like they're just throwing matches together. So, this pay-per-view is... It's just, there's no really too much build-up for anything really, so...
And I understand that, like, WWE has to have their slow periods. Like, you can't be exciting for a full year. But at a time when football is coming back, and you now have to compete with Monday Night Football, which gets Attitude Era or ratings every Monday night, then you'd think that like you'd have to step up your game a little bit. But instead, they seem like they're just on cruise control. And it's like, I don't know how long cruise control is going to last. Like, are we going to do this now until the Royal Rumble again? And then we get back into Royal Rumble, WrestleMania mode? And it's like, come on. Like, give us something interesting. Like, I care what's going on with Bray Wyatt. And I care less now about Roman Reigns, but I still care about his progression as well. But other than that, I guess I would somewhat care about what's going on with like Miz and Dolph, but other than that, there's absolutely nothing. There's no care at all.
Yeah.
Especially with what they did with Rusev and Jack, and Jack is now a piss on again.
Yeah, and I think no Daniel Bryan and no CM Punk definitely really hurts. I mean, that hurts more than people realize.
Yeah.
So you have that too, but let's go ahead and move on to the highlight of the wrestling week or last couple weeks, which would be NXT Takeover.
Oh, I loved the show. I really did.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good show.
I wish WWE pay-per-views excited me like this one did.
Yeah, all the takeovers have been really good because these kids know that, hey, this is our shot. And you know what? All of them put on hell of a matches. I don't remember the matches offhand, but I know the first match was the tag title match between the Ascension and Kalisto and Sin Cara, and the crowd for this whole night was just amazing. They always are really good at NXT. Kalisto was, or Callisto, however you say it.
I'm his number one fan.
Yeah, we all knew he could wrestle, but he put on a show in that match.
Yes, he did extremely well, and you know what? I didn't mind Sin Cara.
No, because they fit well. That's the perfect tag team for them.
It really is. Like, don't branch Sin Cara off. He's not going to be. I mean, I know it's a different guy now, so he's not going to be the same guy, and he's not going to try to be the new Mexican big superstar like Rey Mysterio. But keep him in this tag team. And the cool thing about this match was, it was finally a tag team match with the Ascension. Like, the Ascension always goes in and they're just badasses, and they just like plow through people in a couple minutes, and they do their thing, and it's all fun and dandy. But you have to have matches like this to actually be looked at from other viewers as a good tag team. And this match was really a good tag team match. Both sides did really well, and I love it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I like about NXT is they legit have 5 pretty solid tag teams. I think that's more than the WWE roster has right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Ascension. They're obviously going to be up before the end of the year, I would imagine. You got.
I would think now this was their go away, and they now should be up. I'd say within the next 90 days they'll be up.
Yeah. And then you have Kalisto and Sin Cara, who are the new tag champs.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are very good. You have Enzo Amore and Big Cass. They're very entertaining. The crowd's very behind them.
Yes.
I honestly didn't think I would like it in the beginning, but they've grown on me. The Von Villains are... Like, it's just something totally different. It's like they're total dorks and geeks and stuff with their little gimmick, but it's something totally different you've never seen before, so I actually do get entertained by them and watching them. And they're not terrible wrestlers. None of these tag teams are terrible.
No, they're a good tag team. The interesting thing with them, though, is they're like a 50s tag team. Like, they're like a tag team you would see, like, as a generic kind of tag team in the 50s, but they're out now, and it's interesting, it's fun. And yeah, they're both good.
Yeah. So you had that. I'm trying to think of what other good matches there were. There was the NXT Divas title match between Bayley and Charlotte. What did you think of that match?
You know, Charlotte was better. She's getting better. I just don't buy Bayley at all. I really don't. Like, they could release Bayley today, and it's like no big whoop to me. I think she's a fun, bubbly, cute kind of girl or whatever, and she tries hard, and it seems like it's actually like a dream of hers to be a pro wrestler, and that's awesome. I just don't think that she's going to really have it when she gets to that main roster to really survive. But you know, at the same time, that roster sucks for the women, so maybe she will. Maybe I'm underselling her too much. For me, I would rather them give Alexa Bliss this opportunity and hype her up. And give her a shot. I mean, after seeing Bayley for the last couple of months, she is a fun, cute little gimmicky thing, and it's cool and all. But I just don't buy it. I sell it.
Yeah, but the crowd is really behind Bayley.
Oh yeah, they love Bayley.
She had a really cool entrance, or she has a really cool entrance.
She's like a. I mean, she's a crowd favorite, but it's like a cult crowd favorite in that area.
Yeah. And, like, I absolutely love the Bailey is gonna hug you chants.
Yeah, I did like that.
Because it just reminds me of Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
exactly.
So
it's like a mix of Joe and that one big guy from the Cleveland company. Remember that big guy?
No.
You don't remember the big guy from the show we went?
Oh, Brian Castle.
Yeah. Where like
Yeah.
he just loved to hug people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got what you mean now. Okay. And then I'm trying to think what other matches there were other than the main event. I know there was like Mojo versus Bull Dempsey.
Well, there was the hair match too.
Oh yeah, the hair match. That was.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what it was.
Just what it was.
Yeah.
Mojo and Bull was just a quick match. I love how they just squashed C.J. Parker with that Baron Corbin dude in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, like, I don't know, but hey, like, that seems like something they just do down there. It's like they did it with Bull, they're doing it with this guy, they did it when Mojo started, like, just these quick squash matches, like, just to get these guys over real quick, like,
this isn't the 80s anymore. That doesn't work. I don't understand this philosophy on promoters that think that works. Like, that does nothing. Because you see a guy that's not, like, that would work, I guess, if you have a guy like a Brodus Clay, who's just a really, or a Vader kind of guy. Some guy that's a really big dude, and he's, like, really like a wrecking ball. And that would work for that guy. But it's like, when you have a guy that looks big, but he's just average big, I guess, you don't see enough of that guy to really know what he can do. And you have this other guy that we've been seeing ever since NXT came on the network and has been somewhat of a featured character on the show, and now you just squash him. It's like, well, I have no care of what he's going to be in now with anyone else. So yeah. I just think it hurts both parties, or at least it doesn't help either party.
Well, I found it funny, like, they showed C.J. Parker's entrance and stuff, and he came out, and then they're like, oh, and in the ring, Baron Corbin, like, they didn't give him an entrance at all.
No.
So I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, this is just like a filler match or something. Like, I just came out of left field that this dude just was going to kill C.J. Parker in 3 seconds. Because they gave him no entrance. They're like, oh, yeah, by the way, this is his opponent.
No vignette, no nothing. And
yeah,
like,
so...
And I was sitting there trying to think, do I know this guy from ROH or from something else? And I don't know who he is. I don't know where they got him from. So if anyone does, tweet us or go on our Facebook and let us know, because I don't know anything about him. It just, the whole thing just did nothing for me on this part.
Okay, and then what did you think about the debut of Kenta, or I forget what his new name is? Hideki.
Oh, we should have looked at what his name was. Yeah, Hideki Itami or something. Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. As soon as it happens, I was saying to the TV set, no, I didn't want them to change his name just because that's such a big deal. Like that's a legacy. That name is a legacy. It's like the Rey Mysterio name. It's a legacy. It means something. It holds prestige just in that name. And I understand. I get what they're doing. I don't hate the name either. So it's not like oh, that's a dumb name. I just think it was not needed, and I think I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to branch him off on his own for the WWE. Like, that's what they do. They want it to be their own, and I get that. But, yeah, I wasn't a fan of the name change. I still think he's going to kill it in NXT and eventually in WWE, though.
Yeah, and this Thursday is his first match on the network. It's actually going to be against Justin Gabriel, so that should actually be a really good match. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm going to mark out so bad for that match.
Yeah,
I hope that's a 20-minute match. Yeah,
that would be nice. And then speaking of 20, 30-minute matches, we can talk about the main event now. And the main event was for the NXT title between the champion Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd. So what did you think of that match?
I thought it was a really good main event. I'll go through everything. First of all, round of applause for Tyson Kidd. Like, he came out in this match and he killed it. He absolutely deserved the title after that night. Like, he has there cannot be anyone to doubt his skills as a professional wrestler. There can't be people saying, "Oh, show me a good match he's had," because it's there right now, and it's been there for the last couple months in NXT. But he did amazing in this match, and it was really awesome to see, because I've been a Tyson Kidd fan from day one, and I've had to deal with people saying he's not that good. He was just somewhat of a heart and stuff like that. But he showed that he really can bring it.
Yeah, I absolutely love his gimmick. Just this like whole cocky side to him. It just fits him so well.
Yeah.
I love how he came out. He had the Bodog headset on.
Yeah, I know.
Stuff. He just looked like a total fucking badass.
Yeah, he did.
And I loved it. Then you had Tyler Breeze was in this match.
Was he?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Jeff said he didn't really see him too much, and you saw little bits and pieces of him.
You saw little things. It's just I wanted, like, what Tyson did, I wanted Tyler to do. Like, this was his moment. Like, they have been pushing him perfectly up until this point, and I really thought even if he did half of what Tyson did, it would have been great for him. But it's kind of like this match to me might as well have been a triple threat match. Like, he really kind of lost a step by being in this match, because he really just didn't shine at all. He's very forgettable from this match as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I guess I see your point, and it's fair. It'll be interesting to see where they go with him from here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for these people what they do now.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see another rematch between these.
I
know. I absolutely loved Sami Zayn in this match.
Yep.
He's always delivers. He's had 2 amazing matches with Cesaro, and then now this match. That's like, I don't remember if it was him that did it, or I don't remember, but the quadruple powerbomb suplex
he was the one that was underneath people with his hands, and he sold it so well.
Yeah, like, it was just a really cool move that you've never seen before. So that was cool. It seems like, I know if I told you this, it seems like Sammy is like the Daniel Bryan of NXT.
Yeah.
Like, he's got such a following. He's very popular, and he gets those title matches or number one contender matches or the matches with Cesaro, and he's so close. He hits an amazing move that you think, oh my God, that's it. He's got it. It's over. 1, 2, and the dude kicks out somehow. And Sami Zayn has had that happen to him in like pretty much every major match, or like what happened in this match, Neville pulled the referee out of the ring right when he hit 2. And it just seems like he just keeps getting, not screwed, but, well, screwed in a way, that he, can't win. He can't win the title. He can't win the big match because of something along those lines. But I think it's just really adding up to when Sami Zayn finally does get that, it could be like a Daniel Bryan type moment.
Yeah, he's really, they're teasing him very well. Like, and he's a special kind of guy to be able to do what he does. Like, and basically the whole last couple of months, just like teasing him along the way of false finish after false finish, and what he can do in the ring is not what a lot of people can do. Like, he's a special kind of breed with that Daniel Bryan, the CM Punk, Cesaro, people like that. When he does finally get that moment, it's gonna go crazy. It's gonna be an awesome moment. It's probably gonna be one of the most historical moments in NXT/FCW history. So it's been a fun ride to see what they're doing with him. I give them praise, who's ever truly promoting and everything in NXT. If it is Triple H, then my hat's off to him for what they're doing with Sami Zayn, because it really is fun to watch.
Yep, and then the winner of the match ended up being Neville. He hit his what the hell is the?
What is it called, like Falcon Arrow or something?
No, it's like red.
Yeah.
It skips me off the top of my head. But Neville is a very good wrestler. I love that he's the fighting champion. He'll fight anybody for the title. He don't care who it is, and he's beaten everybody. He beat everybody in that match beforehand in the singles competition, and then he said, now I have to beat all three of them at the same time. And he's very confident. He's very cocky about it. He's gotten better on the mic. It's still a little hard to understand him, but I think he's always going to have that problem. It's just his accent. But he's definitely very good. I mean, he's going to be the next, like, Rey Mysterio up at the roster that can do those kind of, like, crazy moves. Now, if that gets him anywhere, who knows? But, I mean, can you see Neville being, like, a world champion up in the WWE, just how he is?
I can't.
I agree. He should be, because he is very talented, but it's just not the WWE way.
I mean, he's another case of what a cruiserweight title would do. Or if we get some more prestige with the U.S. or Intercontinental title and form them, I can see him in that kind of role. My problem with him is I'm starting to not like him. And that's weird to say. Like, this match made me not like him. And I don't know if that's a really awesome thing, because I just really like the ring work of Zayn and Kid, and I was really pulling for them, but I just feel he's starting to get a little stale.
And he's been the champion for almost a whole year, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't even. Well, it's been since the network started is when he won the title, so that was in February or so.
Yeah.
So he's been the champion since February, and it's middle of September now. So I think his time has run its course. I think it is time for a new champion. I think either Sammy or Tyson. I would love to see Tyson personally, but I think I
would love it. I think Sammy definitely deserves it over anyone at this point. I think that's obvious of how much he does deserve it. But we'll see when they're going to finally let that happen, if they ever do, before he gets up to the main roster. I mean, I don't even know if they want him on the main roster. I mean, everything I keep hearing for them is they like him in NXT, and we'll get into it in a little bit. But it seems like they don't necessarily see NXT anymore as a stepping stone to the WWE. They kind of are trying, it seems, to make it its own brand. Uh-huh. And I do like that. I mean,
well, we might as well stay on that topic and just go ahead and talk about it now.
Okay. All right, so Triple H comes out this week, and he does an interview, and he's talking about how he sees NXT. Because, I mean, NXT basically is his baby for all purposes. And he kind of made the comment that he sees NXT at this moment to what ECW was like when there was the big three of ECW, WCW, and WWE. And what he wants it to get to without the going out of business part is WCW. And he wants to make it like the new WCW. Now, he didn't say we're going to label it WCW, we're going to give it the WCW title and all that kind of stuff. He didn't say that. I would probably mark out if he did, because I would love to see them do that, because that's what I wanted them to do from the beginning.
Well, they don't have enough wrestlers, and...
Well, I think they could get away with it. I think they could do what they've done with people like Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel. Natty's been down there; she doesn't need to be. But there's some people that would like Sin Cara. There's people that would benefit from going there, and if they can sell that to the roster, saying, "Look, this isn't an absolute demotion or anything. This is just a separate company now," and they could build it up as that. I think starting out it could get to that. But I don't know if that's where they're headed. But it definitely looks like they want NXT to be taken more seriously and more viewership, and they want it to be looked at as another alternative to WWE without being a competition elsewhere.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I mean, it's whatever, they just want to get more buys on the network is what it really adds up to.
Yeah, I mean that's basically all anything adds up to right now with WWE.
Yeah, so they're just really doing that. So.
But honestly, all I really care about right now is NXT. Like, I don't even really care about the WWE right now, and that's sad to say, but I don't. I would love.
Well, it seems like they go through this funk every year of like, okay, I'm like bored.
Yeah, I just figured that it would be done by now. I figured like they would I understand doing that after WrestleMania, after you devote so much time and effort and money into going through the first part of the year. But at this stage, I just feel, I don't know, I feel like I don't want it to get to be a company where it's a 3-month company that's good, and then 9 months, most of the year, it's not.
Yeah. See, this is the time of the year where I get kind of bored with WWE just because football's on Monday nights.
Yeah.
So it's like I would rather watch the football game, and I'll watch, Raw the next day when I get home from work, and I just, I'm tired and just kind of watching it, or it's on in the background, and I'm like, why is Cameron and Naomi on my screen? And then I fast forward.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's basically it for the rant.
Now, I heard something today, and I don't know if it's absolutely true, but I heard that, and I didn't watch this yet, so don't fire at me, but that last night when they were doing Rusev and Mark Henry to end the show, they were supposed to do something backstage with Cena and Brock, but it was taped, but they kept waiting for Monday Night Football to go to halftime, so people would be tuning back to Raw for that part.
Bro, you know what? I didn't even really pay attention to the last part of the show, so I'm not even sure.
Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people were complaining last night on social media the fact that they ended it with that being Rusev and Mark Henry.
Yeah, and it was just, I don't know. The last night's Raw was just not that great, honestly.
No.
It's just been boring. One thing I do want to ask you is a couple of rumors I've read. It's not true or anything yet, but they've talked about after this Brock and Cena match, where is Brock and Cena going to go from here? And the two rumors I've heard is they might be setting up Cena for a Cena versus Rusev feud. And there's then, oh, you want to laugh even harder? Here's the other one. Then they want to do Brock versus the Big Show for the title again. Do you really want to lull me to sleep and not watch your product?
Oh my gosh! Please say those aren't true.
That's what I've read. I mean, it's like. I'm like, really? Big Show and Brock again? He just destroyed him at the Royal Rumble.
And those matches have historically been awful.
Yes, it was very
forever.
awful. Yeah.
They fought multiple times over the years, and it is never anything to talk about.
Yeah, isn't that the one SmackDown where he put him through the ring when it exploded? Yeah. Yeah.
And all the ring pipes go down and whatever, and it, oh.
Yeah,
it was a cool moment.
I would. I don't know. I'd rather see Brock fight somebody else, but honestly, there isn't anybody else.
Yeah, and that goes back to my point. They done messed up. They really messed this up, and they didn't have to.
Yeah, it's just, Brock really has no other challenger right now. He doesn't.
No.
Short of Daniel Bryan coming back, that won't happen.
But it's even when Daniel Bryan comes back, it's like a cartoon of when you had the fee-fi-fo giant guy in a Mickey Mouse cartoon versus Mickey Mouse. That's what it's going to look like. It's just it's going to be a joke, and there's no way you can sell to anyone that Daniel Bryan is going to beat Brock Lesnar. There's no way you're going to sell that.
Yeah. So there's that rumor I've heard.
Rusev and John Cena? Are you serious?
That's what they said they were setting last night up for, was they were kind of setting up Rusev for a Rusev and Cena feud.
Are they really that high on Rusev at this point?
They are, apparently. I mean, I don't think he's terrible.
No, I don't either. I'm not saying he's bad at all right now.
They're trying to make a new star, and I give them credit for that.
Yeah.
But you've got guys like, Cesaro's been wasted, Dolph's been wasted, Miz has been wasted. I mean, these guys have titles right now, but they're being wasted.
Yeah, and wasted on the level of Rusev. I mean, I know Vince gets a chubby every time he sees a big guy like Rusev, and Triple H gets a half chubby. I get it. But it's just because you have that mold doesn't mean you're going to sell. And it's you have these people like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, Cesaro, Dolph, Miz might even be in that category of being able to sell stuff for a company, and they still don't give a crap.
Yep.
They still want that really huge guy that was like a circus act, like Andre the Giant was.
Yeah, like why don't they have Brock versus Khali then?
That to me is very similar to Rusev. I mean, obviously Rusev's a better wrestler, but it's like that boggles my mind. This actually is like Khali when you think about it, because Khali was this really big guy that came in, and then because he's a really big dude, they put him in like the main event role, and he won a title. I don't know if he won multiple titles, but I know he's at least.
Well, that's like when they did the same thing with Vladimir Kozlov when he came in too.
Yeah,
and he had the feud with Triple H. Yeah,
it's like it's like, can we please get past this mind frame that really big guys are God's gift of professional wrestling here in 2014.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I don't get
is there anything else you wanted to chat about, or shall we wrap this one up and then do predictions later on this week?
I think we're going to do predictions later on this week. Let's see. I know that there was some rumors going around that Christian might be done with WWE for good now.
Yeah, but then he's doing he's going to be the guest host. There's an hour pre-show for the Night of Champions pay-per-view this Sunday, and he's doing a peep show with, I think, Chris Jericho is his guest.
Okay.
So, like, they're, like, thinking, like, okay, this might be their way to put Christian back into a feud or something and start something with doing the peep show on the pre-show.
Do you think that he will have a spot as, like, doing something still with the company after he's done wrestling? Or do you think he just doesn't have that look? Because we both know Vince hates his look since he wanted to put a dot on his face.
The blue dot. I mean, he could be like a trainer or something. I could see him definitely doing that. I think he does the guy is charismatic as all hell.
Yeah.
He could definitely be, one of their main hosts on the network, doing the pre-shows. Booker T does a nice job. Alex Riley does a tremendous job. I mean, you could do, those four as your main cast, and then wasn't there talk of them during the summer of doing like a nightly show, like a Sports Center type thing, but with wrestling?
That was the talk, is that like at some point there was going to be a nightly show where they actually have it's because that's what
I don't know if the budget cuts cut that out or what.
I don't know, because for years Vince has wanted, because this network thing has been going on for, gosh, they first talked about this at least like 8 to 10 years ago, and over the years Vince has really wanted WWE to be synonymous with what ESPN is. And he always looked at ESPN as the model of what he wanted the network to be. And I think SportsCenter is something that he really wants WWE to have, something like a SportsCenter. If that ever happens, then yeah, Christian would definitely be a good guy to have on that panel. You'd maybe even have Booker T. Who knows? Maybe the coach will come back.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you had pretty much all that. I don't know, it's just been really boring in wrestling lately, guys.
Yeah,
so.
It really has. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. My favorite thing right now is NXT. We are going to do a prediction show for the pay-per-view coming up this weekend, which is
the Sunday.
Night
of Champions.
Night of Champions. That's it. So we're going to do that. And yeah, I mean, I got nothing else for the show tonight. I apologize. It's kind of a boring week. It's
been boring, and they haven't really given us anything to really talk about. So
yeah, all right, guys. Well, we will see you later this week, and we're going to give you a prediction show. Until then, we'll see you on the other side of the ring.
All right, see you later.